Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, episode 86. And it's been a while, but we're going back to Danger Street. I got behind in my reading, work crazy, so my schedule's been not the most conducive to recording, so I'm kind of jumping around. But so I'm got a little behind, so we're going to cover Danger Street 10 today. This will post on the 25th of November. I'm recording it while I wait with bated breath to watch the new Doctor Who. And then next Saturday, I will put up issue 11. So this will be Danger Street number 10 and first issue special number 10, The Outsiders. Well, let's get started with Danger Street 10 and its pertinent date. So, Danger Street 10 came out on the 10th of October this year. It was its cover date is December 23rd. It has it has two covers. The main one is by the main artist, Jorge Fornes. The comic is written by Tom King, pencils and inks by Mr. Fornes. Dave Stewart, colors, wonderful colors. Letterer, Clayton Cowles. Editors, Brittany Holzer, Gillian Grant, Chris Coney. Executive editor, Marie Javins. And this one's called The Outsiders. So the main characters in this one, the Creeper, Liz Warner, Chief Warner, Warlord, Travis Morgan. We also see Highfather, Nabu, Non-Fat, Orion, Starman. And the Outsider, Commodore Murphy, the last surviving member of the Green Team, the Outsiders, who are Amazing Ronnie, Doc Scary, Harry Larry, Lizard Johnny, and Mighty Mary. And then the corpses of Codename Assassin and Manhunter, and some other people. There are a lot of dead people so far in this. So let's kind of go through this issue. I really loved it. I really, really loved the last one. That was just the one, the beautiful, I just loved it with the fight scene between Codename Assassin and Manhunter. And when I go back and read this, when it comes out, I'm going to get this in a hardcover or something. And when it comes out, I'm going to sit down and read it in order, chapter by chapter. And I think it's going to read even better. And I've enjoyed it. So as always, it starts with Doc Fate's helmet saying, "After a brief interlude of violence, honor, and death, our story continues. In the new city of York, an ogre crawled out from his cave to seek the warmth and glory of the rising sun." Okay, so all that means is Jack is riding in an elevator on his way to the helipad so he can smoke a cigar. He's got a shiner from the fight from his last battle. And he just hitting on this woman real creepily. Jack's just a creep. And then and that's a beautiful page. It's a 9-panel page. And then we go to a single panel page where he's on the roof, and he's above the dead bodies of Manhunter and Codename Assassin. And then we cut to Chief Warner. She's trying to get help from Agent Sackley from the FBI, but he's useless as tits on a bull. And we're just seeing Chief Warner's side of the argument, and she's just getting frustrated. It's like you're talking to somebody at some, you're Amazon and you're trying to get your refund or whatever, and the person just is talking in circles on the other end, trying not to give you your money. It's awful. But, and back to her catchphrase in this comic, "I'm not calling effing Superman," and that's when Sackley hangs up. And she starts talking to the helmet. So it's a nice little moment. Pause after, because that's a frantic 2 pages of her just being more and more frustrated. You're getting it with her. And then she just talks to the helmet for a minute. Then we cut to Non-Fat and Warlord, and they see on video, it's been released to the public that Orion, someone had stolen the body of the Non-Fat's friend, for the other member of the Dingbats who had died. And Non-Fat's really nice he asked Warlord or Justice League no. And Non-Fat's like, I don't think he did. I think he's being nice to Warlord. They're becoming friends. It's like, it doesn't matter in a way. That's what I got from the conversation. We see, go back to the roof, and Jack showing the Commodore the dead bodies. Commodore is pissed that there's blood on his diamond sword, which used to be Metamorpho's arm. And he starts ordering Jack around, and makes him get on one knee in front of him. And I mean, the Commodore's a psycho. I mean, absolute psycho. He's getting crazier issue by issue, and it's just he knights the Creeper, and he knows that Jack's the Creeper. And it's just getting creepier for poor Jack. But Jack deserves it. He's a creep because he's a creeper. Okay. We have High Father trying to hold up the sky, take Atlas's place, but it's too much for him, and it's cutting between him talking and Darkseid just sitting on his throne. It's beautiful. The art is, but Mr. Fornes' art is just stunning. We get a single page of Darkseid's head with a little grin, energy coming out of his eyes, and the captions read this: "There was realms of parchment wasted on history and character of dragons. I say wasted because though a man may spend his life contemplating their teeth and fire, he will never know their true mind. The way of dragons are beyond our understanding. They are tasked with upholding the sky, a burden too great for our comprehension. So do not inquire of me of the smile that spread upon the dragon's lips as the other world conceded, where the other conceded the world, for I have no answers." And Darkseid goes, "Indeed." So I don't know what's up with Darkseid, but it can't be good. We go back to we go back to Warlord and Starman, and they're having a conversation. That Orion, they need the mother box because they need the helmet. But he'll have a mother box. It'll be broadcasting. It's an energy signature. Not much. Tough to find. I can do it. Starman's going to track it, but it could kill him. Using his powers could kill him. And Warlord doesn't want to. And it's about the dead boy. He goes, what if we... Warlord's still feeling really guilty about the kid, as he should. The boy's dead. It's a tragedy. But is it worth this? Trying to bring the boy back to life. Because that's what he wants to do. And Starman goes, "You're scared." And Warlord says, "I left Shambhala because it wasn't enough. I was a warrior, but I wanted to be Superman." Starman goes, "Everyone wants to be Superman. I talked you, Warlord, I talked you into this nonsense, the fate helmet, Metamorpho. You said we're heroes. I believed you," Starman says. "But what if I was wrong? I'll kill you for a mistake," says Warlord. "If you were wrong, if we were just refugees with powers, then this moment would come, and they'd ask me to save a child knowing it would kill me, and I'd have said no." That's Starman. Warlord comes to him and goes, and then Starman goes, "But you weren't wrong. You and me, no matter what we've done, we are Superman." It's awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm really enjoying this. We get back to Jack's getting drunk in his office, in the Commodore's office on the Commodore Scotch. Good for you. And Commodore is, just being Commodore. He's an ass. He wants a sword. He wants the diamond back into. He wants it back into a diamond arm, but it'll just cost. You know how everything costs. And Jack's saying, "I'm just saying, and no judgment here. I don't think ignoring the two bodies on the roof is the best plan. Let's get the people involved. Let them know what happened, what's at stake. I think you're probably a little in shock here, and taking the veil off this thing will help in the long run." And then, to which the Commodore explains, "Is there somewhere I could get it fixed? Who turns diamond swords back into diamond arms? I'm sure it costs, but what's money if you're not going to spend it? Just numbers on a screen." Where Jack starts to reply, "I think we need to take this serious a lot too." And he's next, a nice one-page panel. He's in silhouette. Jack's in silhouette. The Commodore standing at his desk facing with the sword. And in the window behind him is Mighty Mary from The Outsiders. And then we get a scene on the plane where Chief's got the helmet in the bag and is told to put it under the seat in front of her. And then quick cut back to Orion getting drunk behind a dumpster at near the bar where he's at. Warlord coming up, trying to trying to get some information from a drunk Orion about where he hid the kid's body. For his troubles, he gets lifted by his neck by Warlord by the throat, and he Orion is it's Orion saying, "Because of you, I can't find his soul. The soul it's missing because of you. My father's last thoughts will be of my failure." And Warlord goes, "You want his soul? I have it. And I need the body and the helmet." Cut back to Creeper battling the Outsiders, and to me this page it seems drawn a little bit, color a little bit different. It's a little more actiony, so it's got a bright yellow background and red movement things. It's really wonderful, and Creeper makes short order of them, and Doc Scary, that's it, Doc Scary. Doc Scary says, we're nightmares, and Creeper's just laughing at him. He's not scared of these kids. They've been using that really don't have any powers or skills. They're just scary. And we find out from Mary, she goes, she's just upset because this isn't what she wanted. Remember, they lost the game, and Metron did to them. And the other kid, the other team, the green team that got what they wanted, made them villains. And all she wants to be, they all need the helmet to make everything the way they want it. The helmet's what they need. So we cut back. The last page is another 9-paneler. Liz walking through the airport with the helmet in a bag. Orion uncovering the body of the dead dingbat. Warlord looking broody. Mighty Mary giving the Creeper a big hug. The Commodore is passed out on the floor. I think he's passed out. Non-Fat is sitting on the sofa. And then we get this from Fate. And now it comes to pass where once there were multifold heroes, all striving for their own wants and cares. There is now unity. As we near the end, they all desire but one thing. They all of them, need me to be continued. I thought this was a good issue. It moved people in place. Some bits were more interesting than the others. Some were more just informational. I really am liking Chief Warner. I like it. I'm not going to call her Lady Cop as her name. I think it's the name of the comic. But she's really I think she's become a good character. I like Dingbat. I like that Warlord. And I love Warlord and Starman's this friendship. I really kind of buy it, that it's a deep friendship. And they really care about each other. I kind of like that emotional context. Jack is really kind of pathetic, and it's getting worse and worse, and it's really not getting worse. We just peeling layers of the onion. The Commodore is Psycho. And I'm looking forward to more with the Outsiders, because I've never really gotten this, and you'll hear when I talk about first issue special number 10, their first comment. Because I think I'd read it years ago when it came out, and then, well, I'll get into that then. But I really like this issue. The art's beautiful. It's a great series. And it's moving forward. I'm looking forward to 11 and 12. They're not doing a 13th for New Gods, but I'm going to do something, I think, and cover that issue anyway when we're done. When I'm done with it, it'll be the 13th issue of this kind of series within the Stop Let's Team Up series. So let's get to first issue special number 10. It was published on October 23rd, 1975. Cover dated January 1976. It had an Ernie Chan cover, which is okay. It's a very, it's this guy coming into a room and there are all these bizarre shadows in red, and it's okay. It's not the greatest comic cover ever. As first issue special as a tryout, there are a lot of things that don't really kind of hit it. The story We Are the Outsiders is the overall title. Each title has a chapter. It's written by Joe Simon, pencils by Jerry Grandinetti, inks Craig Flessel, and Carolyn Jeter letterers. And the editor of this book was where's the editor credit on this one? This is weird. It's normally up at the top. Oh, editing Joe Simon. Okay, there it was. I just didn't see it. Haven't you? But and And let me go to the Fandy because it's got the fandom page because it's got a little more details, easier for me to read. Appearing in this is The Outsiders, their first appearance. Amazing Ronnie, Billy the Big Head Boy, Doc Scary, Harry Larry, Larry Lizard, Mighty Mary. Some supporting characters: Donna, Old Man Lundy, Colonel Markey, antagonist Hector, and Linville citizens and others. Ernie Chan is credited as Ernie Chua in this issue for the cover. Outsiders feature this is in this issue, not to be confused with the Outsiders from mainstream Batman University. Ironically, this team predates the Super Team. The issue is divided into 5 chapters, where the Outsiders, Johnny, Billy, Dr. Goody, and the Strange Things down below the medical center. So, and here's a synopsis from the fandom wiki. Doc Scary comes upon his team of outcasts, the Outsiders, the Amazing Ronnie, Lizard Johnny, Harry Larry, and Mighty Mary in their headquarters watching a television broadcast of a confrontation between one of their fellow freaks and citizens of the town of Linville. Jumping aboard Larry's vehicle, the Outsiders arrive in Linville to find a large-headed boy named Billy under fruitless attack. The citizens turn on the Outsiders, who defend themselves with their unique physiologies and drive off their attackers with the threat extinguished. Larry suggests they introduce themselves to their readers. Fisherman Ahab Smith catches a small lizard-human hybrid and delivers the creature to the hospital. After 2 days, the future Lizard Johnny grows 6 inches, and one doctor sees him as an abomination and seeks to kill him. The doctor is opposed by his co-workers, Dr. Goody, and is struck by the lizard's tongue during their struggle, rendering him unconscious, while Goody flees with Johnny. In Linville, 2 men storm into Lundy's tailor shop, seeking to steal Old Man Lundy's life savings at gunpoint. When they try to search a trap door in the shop floor, the old man struggles and is shot dead. The men enter the trapdoor to find Billy, Lundy's son, and they are horrified by his appearance. They strike his head, but it has no effect. Instead, setting him and the shop on fire, Billy escapes only to be set upon by a mob of townsfolk, fleeing to the warder to extinguish the flames. In 1970, Dr. Goody and Colonel Markey travel aboard the supposedly unmanned space probe Alpha Zero to Venus, where they seek to investigate and exploit laser signals with the potential to cancer and other ills. Instead, a magnetic force causes the rocket to crash on Venus, where Goody, surgically reconstructed by aliens with cybernetic limbs and a face in their likeness. 2 years later, the Alpha Zero is found on Earth, Goody on board. In a military hospital, he discovers both his augmentation and disfigurement. Months later, Goody wears a mask in his old likeness to work at Ron Kite Medical Complex, where his augmented hands have made him a world-famous surgeon. 20 stories below the hospital, Goody enters a private suite he shares with the Outsiders and removes his mask, insisting that Mighty Mary call him Dr. Scary when he is without it to protect his identity. Joining the Outsiders now, with Billy among the number, he finds them watching a television broadcast of a confrontation between a flaming freak and citizens of Luckless. That's a pretty long synopsis, but it's a pretty it's a really kind of weird and complicated story, and I didn't want to kind of have to translate that for you, so that's why I kind of read it this time, because when I read this the first time, I thought it was freaking terrible. I hated it. I mean, I really disliked it. I don't want to say I hated it. I really disliked big chunks of it. I thought it made no sense. The art kind of bugged me. Everything just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But this time, I really was entertained by it. I don't say I liked it. I do think it's flawed, and there's a reason that they didn't go. But if I was reading this back in 75, I would have gone, this art is very different. It's kind of like Keith Giffen doing Ambush Bug or something like that. It's kind of weird and silly. And it's not, I don't think they're creepy. I don't think they're supposed to be creepy looking. I think they're supposed to be likable. and they are likable characters, and that's what I kind of liked. It's just kind of that weird, I'm going to try something new, everything's kind of strange. And it's drawn in it. I've not seen anything like this in a DC superhero book. So it has its own identity, a very distinct identity. And I think in the long run, it's not a terrible comic. If you're introducing kids to some weird characters, I mean, it's a lot of exposition. It's a setup. And I think you could have done something with this as long as you kept this kind of style art and kept this kind of weird, the weirdness of it. Because the weirdness of it, if I was a kid reading it, I would have thought it was cool weird. You know what I mean? For a little kid, this is as weird as you're going to get. And I think it would have kind of sparked some kind of interest in a little more far out story. So, I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I enjoyed it. It's just really odd and unique. There's nothing like it. Is it kind of like a psychedelic, but, you know, someone trying to push the envelope of, say, the X-Men? Is this, they were trying to create an X-Men knockoff? Maybe. I mean, it is blatantly a ripoff of the X-Men. It is really blatantly a ripoff of the X-Men. But I think it's supposed to be a little more weird, a little more avant-garde, a little more out there. And it's that. It is that. I don't think, you know, do I think it's a great comic book? No. Would I recommend anybody read it? Not really. Maybe read this whole volume of first issue specials to kind of see what they were trying to do in the 70s, because there are hits and misses. There are hits and misses in this. But I really liked it. I really liked it more this time. I really was entertained by it. And that made me happy, because I don't want to bash stuff. But I also want to be honest. I mean, it's very unique. All right, so the next issue is going to be Codename Assassin, which I don't remember. I remember it, but I'm kind of not going to say anything. I'm looking forward to it, because I liked him in this comic. I liked what's been going on at Danger Street. All right, folks. So tomorrow, this is going to drop sometime on the 25th, depending on how the day goes. I'm watching Doctor Who. Or if you're a Doctor Who fan, watch it on Disney. And then Sunday, I'm going to drop the second 4for4 episode, where me and the amazing Kirby talk Fantastic Four issues 5, 6, 7, and 8. 4 for 4. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Sorry, this is my schedule's kind of spotty. I've got a 4-day kind of weekend. I'm on call, and I had to go in. But I've got to spend some time with my wife, and we're going to watch Doctor Who. We watched some Doctor Who this morning. It's nice. I go back to work on Monday, back to the craziness, and I wanted to get a couple episodes out. Really trying for Tuesday to have this week's Starman out with the next part of the Sand and Star storyline. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and as always, be safe, be smart, please be kind to one another, and read some comics.